thing. Yep, you are live. Hello, people.
Hi, guys.
How's it going? Can we get a comms check, please, to make sure that we're coming out loud and clear? We got a little bit of signal iffiness going on, so hopefully the screen's not all glitchy and the sound's all crap. So if you could let us know, that would be really, really smart. Liz.
Hi, Liz.
So yeah, if you could let us know 5x5. Jay, thank you, sir. So if it's getting okay all the way to America, I'm pretty sure it's going to be all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out the chat now. Nothing personal. It's just because usually you can easily get sidetracked or distracted and you sort of lose your flow. So we're coming out of, oh, dude, how's it going? Titus, good to see you, brother. So we're coming out the chat and that's it. So what we wanted to talk about today, as the title suggests, is time to step up. The community needs you. So if you're a male or you know a male, this is going to be talking about the changes that we've been seeing, haven't we?
Yeah,
about
changes.
You know, it's almost like a big slant towards femininity within the male community and why and what it needs. So there we go then. So what do you think?
Well, I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time, really, and I think what instigated it was this whole thing where we've been going to Iran with Trump attacking Iran recently.
Yeah.
And I've just been really concerned about what's happening in the world. It feels like there's been this attack on masculinity and men, and I don't want this to feel like an attack on men. It isn't.
No.
I love men. I love this man. I've got a son and Darren's got a son, and I love men, and I feel really bad for them at the moment because it's just been a whole agenda of attacking males and their masculinity. It's been an attack on all fronts, really. There's been a complete agenda, it feels like, for women to be empowered, for women to have like girl power in the 80s or 90s. I think it was the 90s.
The Spice Girls.
Spice Girls.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've all been led to believe that women can do it all. We can have careers, we can raise family. And I think men have lost their way a bit because we are naturally, as women, the nurturers. We're the people that take care of the children and take care of the home. And I think the roles have been completely reversed and inverted. And now men are feeling like we don't know what our purpose and our role is anymore. And I really feel that it needs to be talked about. It's something that's really being pushed in all directions. It's sort of an attack on our men.
Yeah, it's been like multi-pronged. You know, you've got the long time ago, you know, the male would go out to work and provide, and that'd be enough. But now, with inflation and everything else, and with all of the publicity driving females to be the career woman and that sort of thing, and you know, two people as a couple in a family home working full time, and it just doesn't seem to be enough. So that was one aspect of why the things have switched. I think there's many others, isn't there? Really,
yeah, lots
when you think of it.
And I had something happen this morning. It really sort of pushed me to want to speak today. Normally I've been on Darren's videos behind the scenes and just you can hear my voice, but today I felt like I really had to put my face to my voice and let you see me.
Not scared at all?
No. A little bit.
Broke your duck. Yeah.
And I was just making some posts on Instagram and my YouTube channel, and I was talking about all of this stuff, and I was lying on the sofa and I honestly had like a bit of air, like I felt like somebody had breathed onto my forehead, not in my third eye chakra, but in my crown chakra here. And it really sort of like, to me, it was like the universe speaking to me, confirming that I need to speak up about this. So I said to Darren, I really want to do a live stream, which is not like me at all. And yeah, so he said it was fine to do, and here we are.
It definitely needs talking about it, doesn't it? Because you can see it everywhere, you know, whether it's videos, things that I've observed as well, because we live out in the sticks. Every now and again we go into an urban area like a high street or something, and when I look into male or just clothes shops. You know, the clothes that are offered to men in this day and age, all of them seem to be tight fitting and very feminine by design. Even the hairstyles, even we've noticed as well, and some, especially the younger generation, their body shapes are different to what they've always used to be. Where we had a slim waist and we had broad shoulders, it all seems to be changing. We've looked into estrogen in the water, in the main water supply, basically things that are lowering testosterone. And I think testosterone is what gives the male their true characteristics. And that definitely, from what we've been seeing, is under attack from so many different areas, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It just feels like we're all being targeted, but the water's being changed. I think it's making men maybe sterile. There's something in the water that's making men sterile. It's in our food. It's in the air. It's just from every single angle we're being shown effeminate men, emasculated men.
Yeah.
And it's a really awful direction to be going in, because as a woman, we need leaders. We need kings. And that whole protest of no kings and the chanting and the thing that happened a few weeks ago, or was it a week ago or couple of weeks ago, that to me was horrifying, to get people protesting and chanting no kings. Well, that's the opposite of what we need. We need our men to be our kings. We need to be felt like we're protected and looked after. And there is a feeling, I feel, that men want feminine women. They don't want masculine looking women. They don't want women that don't want to nurture, that want to go out, and they're more important. Their focus is on their careers. And I know this sounds really old-fashioned, and it's like, oh, are we going backwards? But to me, it's all been inverted. What the sacred union is all about. And like Darren and I have been together for a while now, and it feels like there's an attack on sacred union. So couples that are really found each other and are really in love. That's the most sacred power there is to me, because you can create a human being in that relationship. And so if that's under attack, then what are we doing? What are we witnessing? What are we allowing to happen? And I feel like at the moment there is a movement happening, and I don't know if anyone's heard of these guys in America called Sacred Sons. And they started a company in California in 2018, and they were going around and getting groups of men and doing workshops with them called convergence workshops. And they started in America, and now they've spilled out to Europe. They're doing workshops in Canada, Mexico, Europe. They've even come to London actually in July. And what they're doing is they're helping men feel more empowered, and that can't be a bad thing. That can only be a really good thing. There are lots of rituals that used to happen when a young man developed into his manhood, into his adulthood, and those kind of rituals and cultures, it's kind of like been depleted, and there's a real need for older men to show leadership and to teach younger men now to come into their power, to be authentic, to be honourable, to be vulnerable, for their mental health. We have a mental health crisis for men, and it's appalling. I've got a son, Darren's got a son, and we want a better world for them. And I really felt like I needed to speak on this. So that's what this is about today, and it's a bit different from what we normally talk about, but
but I feel it's all relevant, you know, because you know when I'm mentioned on the thumbnail on the picture, it's all about, you know, because where I feel the way the world's going, the only way that we're going to have real freedom and real privacy is physical communities. There absolutely is an agenda to herd everyone into jamly, tightly packed urban environments rather than being outside in nature, etc. I mean, we've been watching films. Brutalism is a real thing, where they just remove creativity, they remove nature. I mean, you've only got to look back 100 years, and even something basic like a street light would be really ornate and beautiful. Now it's just a boring square thing. Even we've picked up on cars,
Mm.
all these electric cars. Look at the color
Mm.
scales of the cars, the palettes that they're using: grays, blacks, beiges. It's really dull, it's really boring, very uninteresting. And you know, that topic can run for an hour alone, just deep dive in that.
I feel like they're trying to extract the color out of our lives, because if everything's really dull, then we're going to be wanting to look at AI. We're going to be wanting to look online for all the things that are missing. And obviously, you can step outside and go in nature, and you can appreciate the colors. And green is a really good healing color to be surrounding yourself in. But we're just being put in boxes. Instagram, you're in a tiny little box, and that's all you've got. This is
Literally
a
a square, isn't it? Yeah.
And it feels like we're being herded online, and we're being forced to put everything online. Everything's tracked, everything's traced. We're online, and it feels like eventually they just want us to be single in pods with like a unit over our head, so we can just go into a virtual world, and that would be amazing because outside is dull and brutalist architecture. And yeah, I just can see it all happening, and it feels really wrong. It feels like the wrong way to be going.
It certainly does. And I think what we're sort of trying to bring into a small piece to explain all of this is, especially since 2020, but obviously it's been building up to that before then, everything has reversed. I mean, I don't want to talk about in depth about the alphabet people, where you've got, you know, school classrooms, and you've got a drag queen, male, heavily made up, talking to primary school kids. And it's absolutely okay for that guy dressed in drag to go into the girls' toilet in that school, and it's fine. It's absolutely fundamentally wrong. And we're seeing the same sort of role reversal aspects in a way in the adult world, where men are behaving like women and women are behaving like men. And we all feel this at some level. You've only got to be alone and really think about what the hell is going on. And it's by no means a coincidence. This is purely part of the agenda, all of the rest of it. So, you know, we are looking at uncertain times with what's been going on in the Middle East. And there's even mentioned late last night that Putin is going to be fully back in Iran. So that does seem to be building. And God forbid if we did have a scenario where we need to fight to defend our country. No offense to the youngsters, but a lot of the youngsters these days, I feel, just haven't got it in them. And it's not their fault. They've been very skillfully, articulatedly being manipulated to become that product in a weird way. And we can see the changes everywhere.
Absolutely. I used to work in schools. I used to work in primary schools, and I used to work in a secondary school teaching. And to think about the young children that I was in at primary school from the age of 4 to 11, witnessing a drag queen come into their school, they would be so confused about what that is. It's horrific to me to think that that is anything that would be even entertained in a school environment. It shouldn't be something we are exposing our children to. Absolutely not. I think it's horrific. And I just, we need to speak up about it. We really do, because so many people are saying to us that they feel the same, but we're not hearing people talk about it. And I think it's something that really needs to be spoken about. If you feel it, you should be able to talk about it, because if we stay silent about this stuff, then what are we doing?
It's just going to carry on down that horrendous long road. And we could all look back on hindsight and say, that was probably the time that we started to do or talk about at least that sort of thing. But we just zipped it, and it's just got worse and worse and worse, to the point now, maybe 5 years' time, that it's going to be very, very hard to correct it, because there, like I said, there's absolutely programs in place, and they're working very, very well to basically turn men, the hunter-gatherers, into snowflakes, for want of a better term. You know, when you see, like, I've already done live streams about this in the past couple of years now. The recruitment intake for the armed forces has dropped so low, purely for the fact that the youngsters who want to go just aren't up to it. They're absolutely not strong enough. They're mentally shattered. So everything has changed. And I do think a lot of this estrogen in the tap water, stuff in our foods, I mean, I was even looking earlier on, and things like dairy, alcohol, baked goods, sugar. That's really the best way to lower your testosterone, which is weird because males have been known, even back Viking times, drinking mead out of horns and stuff. That's great in moderation. But what we don't want is a younger generation of kids hooked to playing computer games, hooked to drinking and eating all of the wrong foods, and gradually turning, for want of a better term, into a feminine entity. It's so weird, but it's definitely been set up. It's no way that this is just a coincidence.
No.
We're seeing male body shapes change as well, and it's never ever happened from all the time I've been alive. And yeah, I think, like Rachel said, it's high time that at least someone talks about this. So if this video resonates with you, say whatever you feel you need to in the comment section below, or indeed if you're watching live, say what you feel. Are you seeing the same sort of thing? Have you got members in your family who are fit into the descriptions that we're talking about?
Yeah, we'd love to see in the chat or the comments after this video, this live stream has been published, what your opinions are. It would be really good to hear what your thoughts and feelings are on these subjects that we're talking about, because we just do feel like we're in an age where we're being utterly manipulated.
Totally, yeah.
And it's no good. Like, we have to be really strong now, stronger than we've ever been, because AI is being heralded in and it's already here. And what we're doing is we're going over to chat. I can't remember. GTP, sorry.
Yeah.
I always forget. And we're asking that questions. And what it's doing is it's deadening our critical thinking capabilities. Absolutely. If we're always putting out our source of knowledge to something like that AI, and we're just handing over our power, and we are infinitely more powerful in our tiny little finger than we would ever imagine. And the powers that be know this, and that's why we're all being suppressed so much. They don't want us in our power, they want us in fear, as we know from all the things that have happened since 2020. And it's about time we kind of just try to do some inner shadow self-work. And that can only be done really and truthfully when you spend a lot of quiet time to hear your own voice. We all get so distracted with social media and the internet these days that we don't have that quiet space and time to really reflect on how we feel, what we need to work on, males and females, all of us. And that's all by design as well. Also, I wanted to talk about just the things that are powerful, like rockets and torpedoes and missiles and submarines. They're all a phallic symbol for that male energy, and I feel like that male energy has been hijacked and it's been manipulated to be demonized, and it shouldn't be demonized at all.
It should be cherished and
celebrated and cherished,
yeah,
and nourished and nurtured. That's what we want to do for our men.
Like I say, we would like to feel that at some point we're going to be having lots of communities, rural, living off the land, being self-sufficient, that sort of thing. And you need strong males to be involved in that, literally.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the reasons why we've seen a big decline in male masculinity is the lack of fitness. You go and you do something physical, everything is running as it should. The less you invest into that, the more masculinity will be removed from you. So it really does make sense, eat as much correct foods as you can. Have a Google search or whatever you use to search, and I've just found one, 11 foods that lower testosterone. I'll show you quick. I didn't plan on doing this, but we'll just have a little look to see how it all is. So bear with us while we share the screen. Okie dokie. So it says it up on the top. Avoid these 11 testosterone killing foods. Okay, whether this is factual, correct, or whatever, it's something to stir your imagination, to have a look at yourself of what you consume. So we can go down and we look at soy, Any products with soy in there is pretty bad, which is absolutely been part of the vegan movement to literally demasculate men, in my belief. So soy products, dairy, which is a big problem because most of us consume dairy. So that's going to be a difficult one to kick, obviously. Alcohol, another one. Lots of people love a drink, ourselves included, now and again. You know, we're not big drinkers, but we have to be aware what it actually does to us. So in moderation, that's probably okay. Baked goods, so we're talking biscuits, cakes, that sort of thing, is a bit of a bad thing. Sugar. The problem with sugar, it's in practically everything, isn't it, darling? It's everywhere now. So when I've been shopping recently, I've not put anything like chocolates, cakes, biscuits, that sort of thing. So already I'm noticing a difference, and in sugar is a huge thing, especially when you buy like tins of curry sauces or whatever it is. It's nearly always going to have sugar in there. So try and keep your sugar low. Mint, which is a big curveball. I don't understand that myself. Trans fats, you know, when you go to get takeaways, that sort of thing, you know, there's a lot of bad stuff in there. And vegetable oils. I've practically stopped using spread. I've been butter for at least 2 or 3 years now. And we all know the dangers of seed oils. Okay. Another thing which they're pushing on. Nuts as well. Anything that's got nuts in it. Flaxseed, again, it's a big vegan ingredient. So nuts and flaxseed, licorice root, and it just goes on and on and on. But you also have ideas of what to look for. So going bold, a loss of facial firmness, man boobs, for want of a better term, belly fat, decreased libido, and the main one, loss of muscle mass and strength, and an increase of body fat. Mood changes, so you get irritable, you get depressed, you start getting anxiety. All of these things are linked to a drop in testosterone. Insomnia, so you're having problems sleeping, and then you're going to have difficulty concentration, memory problems, and mental fog. You get a lack of motivation, so you can't be asked, you can't get started on anything. Hot flashes or flushes, and a complete loss in self-confidence. So all of these are big indicators that testosterone is extremely lacking. So I thought it would be cool just to go over that real quick. Let me just see how I can do this. Where are we going with this? There we go. Sorry about that. A tech retard, as my mate calls it. So yeah, there are things you can do and things to avoid. I don't know. There's probably some tests that you can do to check your testosterone levels. That will probably be quite good. Whether you can do that at GP or private, I'm a bit skeptical about getting sent kits in the post online to take a blood sample, because you don't know who that company is. You don't know if they're going to sell your data for your blood or your DNA. So it's definitely something worth considering. You know, if you do feel you've got any of those issues that are highlighted just then, get it checked. And once you get it checked, you think, oh my God, then you can start looking at foods to boost your testosterone levels. Try and do some exercise. Now, I'm not saying join a gym for £60 a month, whatever it is. We don't go to gyms. We've got enough wood work and whatnot to do out here in the sticks, chopping firewood, going for walks, all the rest of it. It keeps us fit and healthy. We're outside. I would rather walk and run. Swimming is excellent. So there are things that you can do, which is going to aid your boost of testosterone in that department, because there are things that you can do, isn't there?
It absolutely is. And I want to say to all the ladies out there that we love our men, don't we? And we want to support them in the best way that we can.
Yeah.
And this isn't like having a go at men. We completely understand why it's been engineered that way.
Hijacked, isn't it?
Yeah, completely hijacked. And yeah, we need our men back. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream. Please feel free to leave how you feel, what you're seeing, in the comment section. And indeed, if you're watching this live, say whatever you feel you need to, because I do feel that this isn't just a localized problem. This is a global problem right now. And if this agenda, this road continues, we are going to be seeing a complete reversal in male and female human traits. And that's not a good thing, because the reason why, especially since 2020, things have been going FUBAR is because everything's been switched. Everything's been reversed. So, like I said, let us know what you guys think. I will be doing some more videos pretty soon and live streams, etc. So, is there something you wanted to say before we signed off?
I just wanted to say thank you, men, for showing up. Thank you for being there to support all us ladies. And yeah, we appreciate you and we love you.
Oh, I think so. That's really cool. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the live stream. You guys take care. Thanks for watching and stay funky.
Bye, guys.